Sweet.
What is it?
So, just let me know when we're rolling.
I'm rolling right now, but there's this
Oh,
magical
okay.
thing called editing
Ah,
that you can
indeed.
cut whatever you want out. You don't even have to post this, honestly. It's the magic
True.
of editing. You can edit the entire file out,
You could
export
just
it, and then upload it.
upload a 0-second video to YouTube. Hey,
Yeah,
thanks for watching the episode, guys.
it's been a great episode.
Yeah. Anyways, I forgot how intros work. I was just gonna roll with it.
Intros are difficult. That's why I always do a cold open in my videos. I don't know how to introduce topics. So instead, I just choose something very random to talk about, then just segue into what I actually want to talk about.
You're just talking about the Wild West of a noun at the
Yeah,
beginning of your
my
M&M
mind.
kart racing video.
Yeah, I have no idea how to actually introduce the topic, so I'll just talk about something completely random and then segue in very naturally. It's a trick of
Yeah,
the trade.
it was so natural. Um, trying to find. I want to run backup on this one, but I have no idea how to do it because apparently, if my camera is active in Discord, OBS does not want to use it as the video device.
Why are you using OBS? Wait. Why don't you just record the pop-out Discord screen?
The what?
You can pop out the video of Discord. That's
Yeah,
how I
but
record it. So you shouldn't need
oh,
to use OBS.
you can record the actual Discord meeting?
Yeah.
Huh? How do you do that?
1 second. Let's see.
Now I
Um,
have to know this.
return to app. So if you're on PC, right? I'm gonna assume you
Yeah.
don't have like an iPad set up. Um, so if you go to the call,
Mm-hmm.
you should just be able to hover over it, and the bottom right, it should say pop out next to full screen.
Yeah.
And if you just hit pop out, it opens up a new window.
Right, but how do you record that window?
Oh, I just use window capture on OBS.
Oh, you use window capture.
Yeah,
Oh,
window
that
capture.
makes so much sense.
Window capture is your friend.
Right, the friend that I neglect so frequently.
Right, it allows you to record borderless full screen things very easy, which is very nice. I've been playing through the Fallout franchise over the summer, and I
Mm-hmm.
cannot tell you how much it annoys me that Fallout 4 is the only one with a borderless full screen mode. It annoys me to no end. I hate full screen, and I cannot stand windowed. It fills me with such rage inside.
Gee whiz. Is it
It's
that bad?
honestly no, but it's just annoying enough that I always remember it. I really hate having to like tab out and then like everything disappears. One of the games I can't even tab out of because it just won't open again for some strange reason. Like it's just
Hmm.
like nah. Which is better than Fallout 4, which no, Fallout 1. The original Fallout. If I boot it up in full screen mode and I tab out of it, it just disappears. Like it's not on my taskbar and I can't alt tab to it. Now Task Manager sees it. Task Manager knows it's there. But I just can't access it.
Wait, hang on. So when you attempt to hold on, what are you doing? Are you trying to like exit out of the game and then get back in the game
Yeah, if you just alt tab
the
out because
funny way?
it's in full screen. So if you just click outside of the tab, it just goes to the void, and the only thing that can see it is Task Manager. Every other part of the
What?
computer is just like, nah, it doesn't exist,
It
homie.
doesn't appear on the task. Oh shoot,
No,
that's
it's
weird.
just task. It's really weird. I love old.
I had a. My problem was when I tried recording Quake. I wanted to like I opened up Quake and I had to go to OBS to start the recording. So I alt tabbed out of Quake and went into OBS to record, and I went back over and it pops up an error message saying that like Quake just unexpectedly closed.
Bruh.
And like so if you attempt to alt tab out of Quake at all, it just closes. So I had to start the recording on capture any full screen application, not a specific game exe because I couldn't keep Quake open long enough for it to select, and then record Quake.
Oh
Which
yeah.
worked, but it was a little convoluted because I don't do that for literally any other game. So
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Old games are amazing and work really well with modern recording software.
indeed.
Just
Well,
amazing.
no, some older games actually do work well, but it's like you port it to Steam and all of a sudden it just goes weird. Like the original Doom games are just better to play on anything not Steam. I'm gonna be honest. Like play it on GZ Doom or like even DOSBox because I had a DOSBox WAD file for the original Ultimate Doom, and I just played it on DOSBox and it functioned better than the Steam version.
Yeah, Steam has an issue with ports.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna
Well,
have to deal with that whenever I do my Force Unleashed video, because I got the port over to Steam, because it's the only thing where I can get all the DLCs, and like all of the comments are like, "I love this game, but dear lord, is this port awful?" So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
ports can be so messy. Like sometimes they're great, and sometimes it's just like unnecessary. Because like you get a lot of Nintendo 60. Well, some Nintendo 64 games work great on a port to PC. Like Doom 64 worked great on PC. I love playing that one. But then there's some other games where it's like if you tried putting it on PC, it's just like, you know, try playing Super Mario 64 on anything other than the N64. It's
Yeah.
probably not going to work.
But it's so
It's
much
like-
fun to play on PC.
PC, the master race.
True.
Like, then again, I can't speak from too much experience, even though I got a PlayStation 4. I don't really have any games to play on it because, frankly, I played one game of Fortnite. I played my first game of Fortnite ever. A friend showed me how to boot it up. I played it. I actually won. And I'm like,
Epic.
okay, I'm keeping a perfect record of no losses and one win, and I'm just never going to play it again.
You know what? That's fair. That's very fair. You're the world champion. You've never lost a game.
Never lost a single game. 100% wins.
True.
And then I have like, I think I have Warzone on here, but I haven't opened that up either. I have like 3 games, and 2 of them are on disc. What do I have? Have I shown you my PlayStation games?
No, I mean you only have you only have 3 apparently, so I don't think it'll be a very long.
Yeah,
list.
there's Fortnite and Rocket League that are downloaded onto the system itself, as well as Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Okay.
Which is fun, but the campaign is incredibly long, and frankly, I just wind up flying a helicopter into a building and doing absolutely nothing. Like when my friend went to the Air Force, he figured he wouldn't need the PS4 anymore, so he gave me a bunch of his games, but he didn't give me Red Dead Redemption 2, which I was really mad about. It's like the one game he kept for himself. I think he actually gave to his brother. And so that was the one I was looking forward to the most because everybody like talks about it, and so now I'm going to have to get it on PC. And it's like
To be fair
doesn't-
though, even though I really like PCs, I will say I think consoles just make better games half the time. I like PC gaming because it lets you do a lot of things, but if you're looking for like a well-built, enjoyable time with good graphics, you should go to console. Too many people talk about computers running like really good graphics. No. Half the time they don't. Half the time they're so much worse.
It's like,
Leave the
why do you think
HD to
Ultra
the-
Kill had to be built in a Quake clone style thing?
Exactly.
Riveting graphics.
Leave the 4K to the consoles, okay? It's fine. We don't need to melt your PC anytime you boot up a new game. It's not necessary.
Right. It's like the latest game with good graphics, arguably, is like Doom Eternal, and those are fantastical graphics. They're not even real. Like I would rather play Battlefield on a console than a PC.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of games just better built for consoles as well. Like,
This game definitely.
yeah, I'm playing Fallout 4, and I can definitely tell it's a console game more so than any of the other ones.
We talked about that briefly one time when I started playing Hi-Fi Rush on the PC after beating it on the Xbox with my friend. It's so hard to play.
Yeah.
I cannot fathom, like, I just want to get an Xbox controller and just play it on a controller just to be able to play it properly, because it doesn't make any sense at all. People actually tried porting it. Not porting it. They tried connecting PlayStation 4 controllers to the game through the PC as like some kind of Bluetooth adaptability, and it's messed up because the button locations are all completely different. So you have to rewire your muscle memory. Like, you know how on an Xbox controller, I think this is the A button is where the square is. Yeah. But the square isn't A, it's X. So everything's kind of rotated, and you have to like completely rework your frame of mind when playing it with a different controller.
Based. I love gaming consoles. Are they even different?
Yes, I have this thing too, so.
Yes, good game. Best game. Still one of the best shooters I've ever played.
I have yet to play it at all.
You should. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've seen people play it on their laptops before, but I'm just like, oh, do I want to play a Star Wars game? Like,
yes, you do.
That game? I don't know.
Yes.
Personally, I still think the 2005 Battlefront 2 is the best Star Wars game of all time.
How dare you?
What's the best Star Wars game?
Force Unleashed.
That video is going to be so hype.
It is.
Still waiting for Gallop and Ride, though.
Gallop and Ride has been delayed due to unforeseen circumstances, but it's coming along. I've already recorded parts of it. The script is done. We're in the recording stage, but there's been a lot of hiccups. So,
because I saw the short you made of the running animation. It's exactly how you described it, with the just really fast walking.
Yeah, I will say that was a bit premature.
Oh,
I have probably one or two videos coming out before the Gallop and Ride.
Are they all the Wii games, or are they another bad cop movie review?
No, the next one is about the movies, basically. I don't know how to describe it without saying it's just about Newbie. If you ever been to the movies, you've seen the awful pregame show that is Newbie. That's all. After that, we'll see. That might actually be Tears of the Kingdom. I just got Tears of the Kingdom, so we'll see. We'll see if I have strong feelings about that. And if I don't have like extremely strong feelings about it, that will probably be the next one.
Huh. You didn't do a Breath of the Wild one. You're just gonna do the second game?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the second one. Honestly, I haven't played Breath of the Wild in so long, and it's been done to death. We all know it's a good game. I don't think.
I don't think we have to reiterate the point. Yeah. No, I get that. I wish I could make some reviews of games, but right now I'm just struggling to figure out what to do next on my gaming channel, because Nailgun World is down indefinitely. So, Pre-Fortress 2 activity is going to be significantly decreased. I might just play Half-Life and just record my entire run of the campaign of Half-Life, because why not?
Have you done the have you heard of the Half-Life Google Translate version?
The what?
You should do it.
I'm scared.
It's basically the game ran through Google Translate several times, fully voice acted. It's great.
How do you run something through Google Translate?
Well, you just translate it a bunch of times into random languages,
so
and then bring it back to English.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is I'm gonna have to watch this video later. That scares me. On the other hand, let's talk for a second about how cool you are, because we can. Your video on M&M Kart Racing, the long-awaited video.
That only people who know me have been waiting for. No one else has, but everyone who knows me has been.
Yes, but that doesn't mean anything. It's still great. Like, cause it was such a funny. There were some parts of it where you just like, I don't know, the whole the whole bit with the green M&M was really funny. Because it reminds me of how, like, Jay Schlatt behaves about it. Because you know who Jay Schlatt is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I reminded me of that, and I thought that was really funny. But I remember a bunch of stuff happening. Like, when you described how the coffee mechanic worked in that game, I remember that because I think there was a point where didn't one of us like clip into a wall the one time we played, and it like we had to like clip out of it. Oh, the game is so broken.
It's so bad.
But it's so good.
The more I think about it, it seems more like a weird port of like an N64 Mario Kart game. Like I was thinking about it, I was like, were these developed side by side like Mario Kart Wii and Eminem Kart Racing? Because it's just very strange they came out a very similar time. We're like weirdly similar, but the more I thought about it, I'm pretty sure it was just a very bad like port of an earlier Mario Kart game.
It might have been, yeah, because they still you said that the carts just look like PNGs that just rotate.
Yeah,
and it got me thinking because I know that in the old in Doom 1 and Doom 2, the original ones, all the monsters are just 3D models that just got rotated, took a bunch of pictures of, and then digitized. And so, like, that might have been what the carts were, is just models that got digitized after a bunch of, like, wraparound shots.
Yeah, that's because very possible.
They do look incredibly flat, and the characters are, like, sitting somehow in the middle of them, and they actually look 3D, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's, like...
It's definitely not quite a PNG, because it moves just enough that, like... It's definitely not just a PNG, but it really looks like they did like an old-time animating thing instead of like actually putting any work into it. It's very strange.
Somebody literally whipped that up on the fly, and it was like one dude that worked maybe a grand total of 30 hours on the game.
Yeah. It's a great game. I love it.
Absolute legend.
I'm still trying to figure out what that loading screen is trying to tell you on how to play the game. Like, I really thought I would never learn how to play it, and then on a whim, I just played it like Mario Kart, and I was like, oh, this is so easy. What on earth was the loading screen saying to do?
Gosh, yeah.
Like, that's just not how the game works. Which is even more confusing because you made the game. How do you not know how
I think it's confusing
it?
because the picture that they use has the Wii Remote facing one way for the first instruction, and then for the second instruction, it's like turned over.
Yeah.
And what I think they were trying to do was to just move your eyeballs into like a different position, like a camera angle. And so it's like they're trying to adjust your perspective on the remote on how it looks when you move it from all sides.
Yeah.
Which, if that was how they were doing it, and it's a big reach to suggest that they even did, it failed miserably.
Yeah, no, I actually do think that's what they were doing. I think it was just to like move it and give a bit of flair to the instruction screen. Which, by the way, if you're doing a tutorial, making it look pretty is not like an essential part of it, because the point is that you're teaching people how to play the game. So
people don't want to read just words, and they're just reading like the Star Wars monologue before they actually play the game or something.
Yeah, so we'll just make it confusing.
Maybe somebody at the studio got a kick out of it? I don't know. It's like you said with the Wii, like Nintendo would just license anything that came across their desk. So maybe they just threw it out there and said, let's see if they actually license this, and it worked, and they were like, wait, what?
I feel like that's how 90% of these games were made, that they're just like, oh, let's like put this on as a joke. And then Nintendo was like, yeah, sure, whatever. We gotta fill out the roster.
I swear there was a game I played as a kid that was one of those games. I'm trying to remember. Because there were two Elmo games that I told you about once. the preschool ones, that was
Yeah.
the boy and girl separate discs because somehow they can't fit both of the small amounts of data onto just
It's
one disc and just
impossible.
split it. But those I don't know. Those don't have the same vibe as the Mario Kart or M&M Kart Racing because it's not doesn't feel third party enough.
Yeah, there's a difference between like bad games and just who okayed this game.
Right. It's like, because like I wouldn't even argue that the Cars game I played, the Mater National one, was one of those kind of games either. Although it could have been, because that one, even though it's the one I grew up with and I still love the game to death just because of the nostalgia factor, it's objectively worse than the first game, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
Because the first game actually looks and plays way better than the second one, and I don't know how or why.
yeah, because games like that, because I have a Cars game as well. They're bad games, but I don't feel like it was some like 80-year-old man in his basement like hacking away at his keyboard, at his typewriter, hooked up to a computer, and that's how the game was made.
Yeah, well, it also doesn't help that you have the same Cars game that I do, but it's on a DS or 3DS.
DS.
Yeah, you've got the DS Mater National version, so that also tells me that's like it probably wasn't the type of game that M&M Kart Racing was, because M&M Kart Racing is just a Wii game, right?
No,
Unless
it has a DC port.
It has a DS port.
Yeah, DS port. Which is even more confusing because, strangely enough, I didn't realize this. Mario Kart had a DS port before M&M Kart Racing. So the DS comes out, DS Mario Kart Racing, then M&M Kart Racing on all platforms, and then Mario Kart Wii. It's a very strange sequence of events.
Wow.
Like, I was alive during this time, and I still find it, like, just strange when these things came out.
That is weird. Hold on, so M&M Kart Racing released
2007, I believe.
2007 in October and November for North America and Australia, respectively, and then it came out in Europe on April 25th of 2008. For the DS, the North American version released March of 2008, and the PAL version released in just like a month later.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Mario Kart Wii, when was that released? It was released in Japan of 2003, and none of the other regions even got it until 5 years later.
Mario Kart Wii?
Yeah, Mario Kart Wii.
Oh, was it? Oh, did I lie? Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay, yeah. Mario Kart Wii was released April 10th, 2003 in Japan, but the EU, AU, and North America didn't get it until April of 2008.
Nintendo is so weird. Mario games especially have very strange releases in that sense.
That makes no sense.
Well, didn't Mario, Super Mario 2, like, only come out in Japan and was completely rebranded for all other releases?
The original Super Mario Bros. 2?
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. 2...
Because I want to say it was rehashed into something else for the American release.
It was released in North America in September of 88, but it just wasn't... Oh, yeah, after the smash hit Super Mario Bros. In 85, Nintendo quickly realized released a minor adaptation of the original with advanced difficulty titled Super Mario Bros. 2 for its mature market in Japan of 86. Nintendo of America found the sequel too similar to its predecessors. Wait, so there's multiple versions of this game for different regions?
No, I don't... technically yes, but the way I understand it more is that there was just no interest in it from, like, Nintendo of America, so it just never got released until later when they kind of rehashed it. But I would argue that seems more like a remake at that point than it does a separate version.
I've always wondered why we only ever talk about the first and the third one, and the second one gets left very untouched.
Isn't
like
I remember there's one really weird Super Mario Brothers with, like, the Shy Guys, but I don't remember
Well,
Which
the Shy Guys first appear in Super Mario Bros. 2.
yeah,
Because you can pick them up and throw them at other enemies.
right, and if I remember correctly, that's also because one of the weird stuff, because the version 2 in America is like not based on a Mario game or something. Like it is a Mario game, but it's like there was some other project like kind of slapped onto it haphazardly, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to remember. I'm just still trying to get over how M&M Kart Racing has a DS port. Now I want to find it and like have you make a review of that and compare and contrast the experience.
I'm telling you, dude, people thought that they were going places when they really shouldn't have thought they were going places.
Oh my gosh. I want to get a DS though and relive an experience.
I'm thinking about getting my
man.
DSs fixed up. Once I get like a permanent income, that'll be something I'll save towards.
Definitely. M&M Kart Racing was critically panned upon release. It has a game ranking score of 22.5%.
Yeah,
and 22.33 for the Wii and DS versions respectively.
reading some of the reviews, I think the reviewers were just as confused as I was about what's going on with the game. Like, it's just like I don't understand.
IGN gave the DS version 3 out of 10 and the Wii version 2.5 out of 10, citing that commercial mascots make terrible video games and that the game barely uses the license at all. GameSpot gave the DS 2 out of 10, stating that the game could put you off M&Ms for life. GameSpot also awarded the game Flat Out Worst Game Award in GameSpot's Best and Worst of 2008. Oof.
And then they still made a DS port. They were like, yeah, I think we're going places.
They literally made a DS port 6 months later. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Great.
That's amazing.
So about Super Mario 2, Wikipedia, the most trusted source in the world, quote, Nintendo of America's Gail Tilden recalls that President, not even going to try that, request to convert thematically unrelated Doki Doki Panic into a Mario sequel was odd at first, but not unusual for Nintendo. There was a different game that they just kind of converted into Mario 2, and that's the Mario 2 America got.
We got a Doki Doki Panic Mario 2.
Which is not the Japanese Mario 2.
Right, because that's the one that like people would play, you know, for like speedruns and stuff. Because like, what the heck is even Doki? I don't even know what that is.
Exactly, because it was folded into Mario randomly.
Oh, that's so weird.
It's really weird. I'm telling you, Nintendo is a very strange company when it comes to things. Like they're just very.
When have they not been? I swear.
It's like it's the entire never let them know your next step meme. That's just the entirety of Nintendo's business strategy.
Seriously though, it's
like drop Tears of the Kingdom trailer 5 seconds after Breath of the Wild drops. Proceed to give no information about the game for like a decade, and then drop it out of nowhere.
Like, they're the ones who think they're still going places.
Yeah.
Like, when are we getting an actually good Pokemon title again?
Never. Well, weren't the new ones? I heard the new ones.
The new ones I heard were okay at best, but what was the last really good Pokemon title?
Personally,
I thought wasn't it like a GameCube game?
Oh, I don't know about that. I know a lot of people really liked Sun and Moon, I believe. Is it Sun and Moon? Yeah, Sun and Moon.
Which one was that for? What system was that on?
3DS.
Oh gosh,
I
haven't
still
had a
have
good
3DS. Personally, I would say Black and White. I really don't like a lot of the later ones. Sun and Moon were okay. I think the original Black and Whites were very great games. I think every one of the pre-3DS ones were very strong in very different ways. Like, I love Platinum, Pearl, and Diamond, but if you're looking at them from a very gameplay point of view, they're awful. They suck so much. Like objectively, they're really bad games. The balancing
Wow.
is not leveled at all. But everything surrounding them and their story makes me love them. I refuse to play the platinum game I have because I just gave up. I got to like level 20 and like the next gem is level 30 and there's only level 9s to farm off of and I'm like, no, we're not. We're not doing
What?
this. We're not. We're done.
When the game becomes impossible, what does it want you to do? Travel halfway across the world just to get to the level you want? You need
Yeah,
to be,
I
and you're
don't
just
know what
like-
it wants me to do. I'm just like, no, I'm not dealing with this. The remakes are pretty good though. I played the remake of I don't remember which one, but I'm playing it. And that one's good. It doesn't have really weird balancing.
What is the best game you have played for the first time recently?
For the first time
So-
recently, Fallout New
Yeah,
Vegas.
so like with. Okay,
Hands
I was
down.
gonna say because I've seen that on your Steam activity a bit more than normally, and I'm like, this guy's not playing Hearts of Iron 4 anymore.
Yeah, no, I've ditched all of my normal strategy games. I've just been playing Fallout.
What's so cool about it? Because I don't know anything about the Fallout the industry like at all, or like not industry. That's stupid.
Fallout
the-
industry.
No, the Fallout
Franchise.
franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, and so I just hear that some of the games are amazing and some of the games are just garbage. And I like, what is it? I don't know what it even is.
Well, first and foremost, okay, it's confusing because there's really, the way I see it, 3 areas of Fallout. There's original Fallout, which is isometrical, like top-down, late 90s RPGs, and they make me mad. They're very hard because again, they're late 90s RPG computer games, so they're so unforgiving. I haven't finished them. I haven't even played the second one. Then there's the early Bethesda years, which is Fallout 3 and New Vegas, which I personally think are the best games, and they're basically first or third person shooter RPGs, and they're quite good. If you want to run around in a post-nuclear world listening to songs that were only released in the 50s, and just explore around and have a lot of different options to do. They also have a very good sense of humor, and sometimes they're very goofy. Like Fallout 3 is perhaps the goofiest serious game I've ever played because they're like, all right, here's your options. You can either help the citizens of this town who have done nothing wrong to you, or you could blow the entire city up for this rich British guy like 200 miles away. What would you like to do? Like, they don't
That's an
even
option?
try and equivocate them. They're just like, would you like to be good or comically evil? And it's not like a serious, realistic evil. It's like a mustache twirling, like super villain level of evil that you could be in the game. Like, you can basically doom everyone to death by following what this random computer tells you to do. Who's like, yes, I want to kill everyone in the wasteland. Would you like to help me? And you could just be like, yeah, let's go. And they just go poison the entire like state of Maryland. It's great. Like, it is mustache twirling levels
What?
of comedic evilness.
That's
Fallout
insane.
New Vegas is a better game. Again, sometimes the mustache twirling evilness could just pull you right out. Like, what is even happening right now? Why can I do this? But Fallout New Vegas is really good. I think the main thing is because it's very good at reacting to what you do. Most games, especially RPGs, have things marked as essential characters, basically. They can't die, basically. Fallout New Vegas only has one essential character. You can literally kill anybody in the game, and the game's actually pretty good at adapting to that. Like, it's quite good at not even like locking you out of things. You can solve things in a lot of different ways. It's just a very good RPG overall with some fun shooting mechanics. It's also just a very interesting world. I'll probably do a review on it, so I'm not going to say all my thoughts about it. It does have some flaws. It is the crashiest game I've ever played. Like, it crashes so much. Which is weird, because Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas basically run on the same engines. They both have very strange glitches in them. But, like, none of the glitches carry over. It's so strange. They all have, like, these game-breaking bugs. But they're never the same.
Valve game? This sounds like a Valve game.
Yeah, it's very strange. Then you get into the later Bethesda, or the newer Fallout games, which is Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. 76 is pretty widely panned as a very bad game. I haven't played it because I don't know how expensive it is. I will eventually play it. I get a sneaky suspicion that it's really not as bad as people say. It's just kind of like a very meh game. Fallout 4 does not deserve the hate it gets. I don't think it's as good as Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas by any means, but it's an okay fun game. It's not bad by any means. It just suffers from some very strange and poor writing in places. Like the fact that you can basically support basically the Underground Railroad but for robots. It's confusing, but like for some reason they have the option to establish like a government, which is like what?
Huh?
Yeah, it's very strange.
What?
Like that's not, I don't really understand what your purpose is at that point, but pop off.
Oh.
But it's not a horrible game. It's pretty fun. But yeah, it's
Still better than FNAF Security Breach.
Oh, probably. But yes, I will be reviewing every game in the Fallout series eventually. I have like 90 years because as far as we know, there won't be any new Fallout games for a very long time.
Because of course not.
Of course not, because Bethesda is a very quick and great game studio.
Oh,
They're
yes, totally.
amazing.
One of the best.
And also, basically from Fallout 3 to Fallout 4, it's just riddled with bugs. Sometimes game breaking. I would say New Vegas actually tends to have the most actually like game breaking bugs. Again, even though it is quite good at adapting to what you do, sometimes it confuses itself and just doesn't work properly. It's not like an advanced engine or anything. Sometimes it will get confused. It really likes spawning creatures like halfway in the ground. It's very strange.
Okay, jeez.
Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 are much more stable, but you're gonna see more bugs from like time to time. Like I don't think either of them have a game crashing bug, which Fallout has a lot of. Fallout New Vegas has a lot of. But like they just have a lot of other minor bugs which are just very strange. Like sometimes bodies will just go flying. My favorite thing about Fallout 3 is you get a lot of random encounters where like a robot will show up and try and kill you, but these robots will also fight any of the nature around them that's also hostile. So sometimes you'll just be walking along and a robot body will just go flying across your screen in the distance and land like halfway across the map. It's just like, huh, interesting.
This is just standard world activities.
Yeah, the body is just ragdolled across the world.
Oh my gosh. That sounds quite entertaining.
Yeah, but they're quite fun. I'm excited to play Fallout 2. I think that might end up being one of my favorite games I've ever played. But I want to get through the first one, and as I said, the first one makes me angry to no end. It's I don't like the early RPGs of video games. I'm sorry. They're all...
I don't like RPGs straight up, so I feel you.
That's fair. I like RPGs when they're done well, but the early ones, it's just like... It's like I'm playing like D&D, and it's like, dude, I don't want to have to think about and do 90 calculations in my head to figure out how to hit this person. Also, you'll see, if you ever look into Fallout 1, the first thing you're going to see is a bunch of memes talking about how you will always miss your hits. And I was like, oh, that's funny. It's true. Like, you can stand right next to an enemy, 95% hit chance, fire 3 shots, and it's just like all of them missed. Like, I am 3 inches from this guy. What am I shooting at? What do you mean?
Point blank goes straight through his ear.
Yeah, it's like it's like you are having a massive shootout, and then like one turn goes, and everyone missed their shot while standing right next to each other. Like, what is going on down there? What are you guys doing?
What the dog doing?
True. Also, it really doesn't give you a lot of instruction, which isn't bad. I don't mind games that don't give you a lot of instruction, but when it's not very intuitive how it works, it can be very annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with a lack of instructions, but you have to make the game somewhat, like, understandable to do that.
Yeah. It's not like you can just, like, here's, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm assuming it's just not one of those games where it's like, here's a shotgun. Kill people.
Yeah, no, it's like, here's a shotgun. Figure out, we're not going to tell you how to reload the gun until you're about to die, and then you're like, oh, my gun's been out of ammo for this entire time. That
Meantime, I'm still sitting there in the main menu like, I have a gun?
Yeah. The way it feels like, I don't know if this experience other people have, but I really played Minecraft was my first video game. So it's kind of going it from Minecraft to the rest of the gaming world, where shift isn't crouch, and you're kind of like, what's going on? Like, that's what it's kind of like.
I still can't believe that you... Shift would never was crouch. Minecraft was just stupid.
I agree. I don't actually really use them anymore. I use mouse buttons. Because I have 5 mouse buttons.
Oh, supreme...
But I still
just have
refer
a
to it
regular
as
$10 mouse.
That's the thing. I still refer to crouching as shift. And it's very confusing sometimes. Because, like, I'm not even pressing shift. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to press shift, guys. Like, no, you're not. You're not pressing shift.
Like, I don't think that means what you think it means anymore.
Yeah. It's great.
It's like you playing, like, Team Fortress 2 and you're just sitting there like, crouch is control, or what?
Yeah. It's like, this isn't how Minecraft works.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, isn't Minecraft doing weird stuff like removing a bunch of mods?
I don't know. I haven't kept up on the Minecraft loop in ages. I just hear whatever my brothers tell me because they play the game. I haven't played it in a while, and I kind of regret it because I feel like I should a little more, but I just don't.
Minecraft, I find that Minecraft is only a game I go back to whenever I'm in the mood, and that comes like every 2 years or so.
Dude, yeah.
Like, I go and play it for a week, and then I'm like, alright, I'm done. Because I think after a while, you just, like... I know it's a game, it's like, oh, you could do whatever you want. But after a while, it's just like, well, I've done everything I wanted to do.
Now
so, yeah.
Which is funny, because as a little kid, you'd never think that Minecraft would give you that idea of limited ability. Because, like, as a little kid, Minecraft is, like, the pinnacle of unlimited potential.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally have a game mode where you can just go nuts and do literally whatever you want. You could nuke the planet and the game wouldn't care. It would just crash because chunk loading would be a nightmare. Yep. But, you know, that's besides the point. It's, Yeah, I kind of felt the same way, cause like, but it was also because after a certain number of updates, I was just sitting there like, what are you guys doing, really?
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me why things didn't just stop. Like, they added bees, and I was like, that's not necessary.
Yeah, but do you not want to be constantly staring at, like, monstrous bees that are not scaled to bees at all?
I just don't want to be stung to death, which apparently is impossible to avoid if you approach a hive, like, 30 blocks away.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe it was a skill issue for me. But...
That might be a skill issue, dude.
I don't know. I haven't played the game in a long, long time. And I haven't had an excuse to. So it's kind of going to remain that way.
That is completely fair. I'm not going back to it in a while, probably. And not just because of my Fallout addiction. But also mostly because of my Fallout addiction.
I'm still like hung on just TF2 stuff in general. People say I have an addiction, and I'm like, yeah, what's your point?
So will you not
Because
go back to playing regular TF2? Do you dislike it that much?
no, I don't dislike it. I just get very uncomfortable playing it because I I played PF2 for about 4 months straight, and then went back to regular TF2, and it felt so different. Like it was such a completely different game, and I was missing half of the things that I had integrated into my like just combat skill,
Yeah.
to the point where the very concept of loadouts was something that I had grown to despise without even knowing it. Because there are just some weapons where if you just equip them, you're going to win like a 1v1 or a 1v2 about 75 to 85% of the time.
Yeah.
And that's really annoying. And for me as a sniper main, I never have to worry about that. I just have to stand up far away from people and just shoot them. But even still, if there's another sniper with a better gun, somehow I purposely handicap myself by giving myself the worst gun in the game. Because at this point, I'm so used to how the Pre-Fortress 2 rifle works that I have to use the classic rifle. Because I can't use any other rifle that functions like the regular ones do. So I purposely handicap myself with the worst rifle. And I don't care, because it's the one thing that actually allows me to play the game without punching the monitor. I didn't think I might... It's so weird, too, because PF2 ticked all the boxes for me that Doom did, and I didn't even know it. Like, it gave me the same rush that Doom would give me when I was on an absolute rampage. Like, just doing all these different things. Firing 4 rockets out of the rocket launcher, launching 1 regular grenade, firing a nail bomb all the way over to the other side of the map, and then using the shotgun to take out other enemies, and pretty soon you have like 3 frags and 2 assists, and I'm sitting there feeling like an absolute champion. In TF2, it felt so slow and stale, and it's like... you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just... I like games where I have more things to do, I guess. That's why I like Doom so much, because you have a lot of things to do. And the selection of weapons is literally whatever you want it to be, as long as you don't die. So
do you like, I don't know if you've played them at all, but do you like Call of Duty games?
I played Call of Duty. There's a couple funny stories with this, actually, because I played Modern Warfare with my friend before he went to the Air Force. We played, like, I visited him like every day of the last 2 weeks while he was home, and half of those days we just played Modern Warfare for like 3 hours. And I couldn't get used to it, one, because it was a controller, and I hadn't played on a controller in ages. But once I actually got good with the controller, the realism of it all was very strange. The only game mode that I actually enjoyed playing was a game mode he selected, which was every time you swap weapons, it cycles through any random weapon in the entire game. So one weapon you have like an M1, the next one you have a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun, the next one you could have a claymore sword, or a baseball bat, because yes, you can have baseball bats. And it's, that was highly entertaining for me, because it completely changed the dynamic of how we played the game. We just played a lot of King of the Hill, him and me, where we just walked all the way up to the Gustav cannon, and it's like, try to take me down. And so, it was really fun. It's a completely different thing when you're playing a game that real, as opposed to Doom, where you're in a fantastical world and it's very invincible feeling. Like, you really have to remind yourself that respawning isn't a thing in real life. And so, playing with him, and him being a kid going to the military, and he's trying to play it as realistically as he possibly can, and I'm just sitting there like running around the map without a care in the world, just getting blown up by him all the time, and he's just sitting there like, huh. But I tried taking it seriously, and it's fun. I think I just need to play it more to get used to it.
Yeah.
He and I played zombies. That was fun. Because it's just zombies. But, yeah. I don't know. COD is definitely one of the experiences of all time. Definitely one of the games.
One of the games of all time.
Truly. Have you ever played COD?
No, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't ever played a COD. The closest thing I've ever come is I think I played Halo once. Don't ask me which one, I don't know.
I have yet to actually complete a Halo campaign. I started the first Halo game and got through maybe about half an hour of it, and then never came back to it, and I don't know why. What I do want to play more of is Counter-Strike, though. Because I don't know, just because...
Actually, yeah, why? Wait, what? That's very strange.
I don't know, just cause. The look of Counter-Strike Source really appeals to me. I want to play Counter-Strike Source more, but I don't know how.
Fair.
So, I have to figure out how to properly play Counter-Strike games at all. I should probably just download CSGO and just see what happens.
You should do it. I'll come with you. Do I still have that? I could re-download it.
It's free. You can... It's only 40
well, yeah,
gigs
I was
to
just
install.
wondering if I still had it downloaded, which I don't think I did.
How much? How big is CSGO? It's 30. It's 30 gig.
32 gigs, I think.
Okay, yeah, it's 32 gigs, and then Counter-Strike Source. I want to play Counter-Strike Source, but really, I just want to. I don't know. I got Gary's mod because Boxy had recreated Gmod Tower, and it was something that a lot of the nail gunners thought was really cool, and so I was just like, oh, I'll get it, and I hung around in the tower, and it was really fun. But I don't play Gary's mod. I don't have a use for it. I don't even know what it is. So
it's Gary's mod.
I'm just gonna try Half-Life, and then Half-Life 2 because I hear Half-Life 2 is one of the best games ever made. So,
I think Half-Life should probably be a bit more than one of the games of all time.
A bit more. What I do want to do is get Need for Speed Rivals, which I have on the PC, but I want to get it on the PlayStation 4, because that's an actual console game that does not translate very well to PC at all.
Are you going to get a wheel?
No.
You should get a wheel, bro. I at one point, we had a wheel for a Need for Speed game, I think it was. That was epic. That filled little 6-year-old Miguel with so much joy.
It's funny because even as a kid, we never had even a Wii wheel for Mario Kart. All of us would just play with nunchucks. The very idea of holding the controller, just the controller, was...
I hate playing with nunchucks in that game.
I can't play without a joystick.
Oh, no, I play with a joystick. I play with a joystick. I like joysticks. I really hate nunchucks with that game, though.
I don't know why. Nunchucks just work. They just make sense to me. I don't know what there isn't.
It's unnatural, okay?
Oh my gosh.
It's unnatural.
I mean, I'll take a GameCube controller or a classic controller over a nunchuck any day, but I'm not playing horizontal.
The Pro controller. I like Pro controllers.
Yeah. Pro controllers are good, but
also Pro controllers don't have a lot of support amongst Wii games, strangely enough.
Really?
Yeah, unless you're going something that's like Nintendo, like a Mario game or something, usually they don't support Pro controllers.
That kind of makes sense.
Which is kind of funny when you think about like stuff like the Switch, where it's like universally supported.
Well, I mean, with so many games on the Wii just being like third-party licensed and stuff, like they probably didn't even bother to put the time in to port. Because the Pro Controller is recognized in Wii games as a classic controller signal.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we played Mario Kart Wii, we would use the Pro Controllers, and the symbol that came up when we selected multiplayer options was a classic controller icon, not a pro
Yeah.
controller. So it registers a classic controller signal, but third-party stuff probably never had the need for that because, you know, they were so haphazardly built.
Yeah, because Wii motion controls will never fail to be the highest technological peak. There can be nothing better.
See, you say that semi-ironically. I believe it fully unironically.
What do you mean? Okay, I will
Motion
admit
controls-
it's not really the motion controls. The motion controls work fine. It's games don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's just that people are incompetent.
Yeah, like that's something I gotta point out in Gallop and Ride, is that the motion controls for it are awful. Not because the Wii doesn't register, it's because the game like tries to make it so precise that it's like impossible. Because I'm sorry, but the Wii just can't do exact precision very well. But I think that's also the nature of I have quite shaky hands.
It's
So
a
really-
2006 console.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you think? What is the game like overcalculating like a rocket science level of like motion steadiness that human hands aren't even capable of?
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing, but it's like my cursor will go across the screen, right? And the game will just be like, no, you didn't move your mouse across the screen. Like, I can see the cursor. I can see that I did. What do you mean? It's very frustrating.
Does it still do that carrot thing that you were talking about?
Yes, yeah.
Where
the
it has to
carrot.
like, we have to like deselect the messages for every single carrot that you pick up.
Yeah, it really hates you picking up carrots. It really does not want you to do that.
My gosh, I can't wait for this video. The rage.
It's
the
gonna
amount
be
of
great. I have
rage.
so many things to say about it. Like almost every aspect of it. Like every wall of the building, I have something to complain about.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're gonna find a texture that's just like accidentally flipped over, and you're just gonna be like,
Well, funny thing about the textures is there exist in the game 2 concrete textures, which is it's just strange. It's not like game breaking or anything, but they randomly switch the concrete texture sometimes, like for specific areas.
like
I think
concrete, not asphalt? Like,
yeah, no, it's
just
definitely
cement, just paved cement.
it's paved cement. It's supposed to be the same thing, but I think they do it to like indicate something special. But usually it's not something special. It's just like, why did you change? Why did you
Just
change
'cause
the texture?
maybe they were on like a contract or something where they had to use a certain number of resources, so they slightly discolored one just to like have a second resource pack or something.
They
I don't know.
they bought like a texture pack, and they're like, oh, we got to use all of the textures.
Every single one. Find a use for it now. Gosh. This game. I keep looking it up every time I like think about it. I'm like, okay, but what is this game actually like? And I tried watching a video of a playthrough of it, and I couldn't get through 30 seconds of it.
Oh, I believe.
It looks so painful. I'm like, I can't believe he's subjecting himself to this level of awful gaming for the funny.
I'm also not finishing the game. Like, I don't. It's also.
You're not even gonna.
It's a weirdly hard game too. That's the most infuriating part.
Is it like one of those games where it's like so broken you can't beat it, or is it actually hard?
Yes and no. I admit a lot of the hardness just comes from me not being able to do the game mechanics. But there's like, as far as I can tell, one way to make money as of where I am right now in the game. And it's where it requires precision for some reason. So it's like super hard to do. And I'm like, I can't expand without money, but I also like cannot physically achieve the way you want me to make money. So it's a
That's so weird.
doesn't have any fail safes basically. Like if you can't do something or you try to do something different, you just can't. It doesn't register for it. It's like, no, it's not possible.
Wow.
There's only one way to do this.
That's. You can't just be clever, can you?
Yeah, no, it's like there's one way to do this, and if you can't do it, suffer. Not our issue.
I can't remember when I asked if you could do something slightly different than what we specifically requested.
Basically.
But are the instructions like really vague too? So like you initially think you can do something different, and then they're like, "Oh no."
Not incredibly vague. They're just usually unhelpful. It's kind of like the Eminem kart racing instruction. Like I kind of get what you're saying, but like it's also weirdly phrased, and it's like I'm not entirely sure.
What other games are you going to be doing besides Gallopin' Rider? Like, because you're going to do Force Unleashed. You said?
Yeah, Force Unleashed is more of a crossover one between platforms. It's going to be Wii, Switch, and PC.
Right, because there's a Switch port for it too.
Right. So we're doing Wii just that I can show some of the like what I originally played. The Switch is probably where most of the videos will come from, just because the remastered version is just better mechanically. Mm-hmm. It's easier to get through, so I would just rather do that. And then the PC one is solely for the DLCs, because despite the Wii being one of the original ones it released on, only certain ports have all the DLCs. I'll cover this in the video, but the way Force Unleashed released with its DLCs are very strange. And almost every single port of it, like Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Wii, all are basically 4 different games.
How do you even do DLC with a Wii though? Because like they're discs.
Exactly. That's
how do you get DLC on a?
I think that's why.
Was there just no DLC? Well, yeah, I mean,
the Wii doesn't have the DLC, but Xbox. I know Xbox and PC does, and I can't remember if PlayStation does or not. I want to say it doesn't. Again, like that's not even like that's just they just were like, nah, can't be bothered.
They just kind of gave up at the end, huh?
Yeah, it's really strange because the Wii was also like one of the first ones it released on. They actually built a combat system completely different from all the other games, specifically around motion control. But they didn't give it the DLC for some reason.
They just didn't care. Like they wanted that Wii gone.
Yes, every single one of them are like just very notably different from each other. It's so strange.
My gosh. You know what we should do?
What?
I should goad you into getting Quake, and we can play Quake together.
Quake is scary.
Dude, it's a horror game, but you have guns. So there is something you can do about it, but I want to play it with you.
I'll look into it. I might get it.
Yeah, how much is it? Quake is $10.
$10.
So I can just get it for you, and we'll just.
No, that's fine. We'll see.
I already got Raft for you. I'm not.
I know. That's why I'm saying don't get it. Yeah, we'll see.
Because like it offers like multiplayer options for the campaign, so like we could play the first level together, or like the first episode together, and I'd be like, that'd be cool. Because the secrets you can find in there are really funny, but some of the stuff is just really scary because the low poly characters and everything, plus how smooth everything moves, and just the general aesthetic of the game is so. It's weird. It's like if Doom was somehow scarier. Like, because Doom does not instill fear in you at all, unless you're playing Doom 64. But even then, once you kill like a couple demons, you're just like, oh, this isn't crazy. Like, I'm still Doom guy, even despite the music just being ambient drones. But you can, like, Quake is just. It can be nightmare fuel, and that's only if you die, though. So just don't die.
That's interesting. I would like to play a normal campaign of a game. They from my experience, they're fun to do, and I can goof off in them.
Oh yes,
I love goofing off in serious.
Just
campaigns.
Don't die.
I will happily die. You've seen me play Garden of Ban.
I know.
I charge straight into their arms. One of these days, they're just gonna give me a nice hug and send me on my way.
Or you just go AFK, and one of them just like creeps up to you while it's still in your POV, and it just kills you, and you can come back like 5 minutes later, and you're just like, why am I dead?
Yeah, listen, no one told me there'd be danger in the game. How was I supposed to know?
This was not advertised.
Yeah, it was
my
supposed to be a scary game, not a homicidal game.
I mean, we still got to play Raft more, and I never uploaded that last Raft episode we did.
Raft is just a long game to get through.
It's so long, and like if you don't do it right, then it just takes forever, and it's like.
It's a very monotonous game. That's why I haven't done a review on it. Honestly, I'm just kind of like I don't have much to say about it. It's like it's fun, but like I don't think I'm ever gonna finish it.
Yeah. No, it's like if we ever do finish it, it'll be when we're both like 10 years from now,
Yeah.
and we finally finish it, and it's just like took us 10 years to finish this
The
stupid
longest
game.
Raft speed run.
It's a long run.
Long run. Sorry, it still goes on speedboard.org. I said
Speedrun.com.
No, speedboard.org. The best speed
Speedboard.
running site ever.
Speedboard.org. I'm straight up looking that up. That domains not exist.
Well, that just means the domain is open for me to open my own.
Oh, by the way, I have the best story to tell you.
All right.
So, this is super niche. Do you remember Tetris Party Deluxe?
No, but it sounds familiar.
It's the 2010 Nintendo Wii release.
Oh, Oh, yes. I grew up playing that one.
Yeah, your mom
Yeah,
absolutely
it's the
dominated
one where
us
my-
when we played that.
Mom made everyone cry whenever she plays it. Yeah. Yeah,
I still have the videos for that too. Like Lila just holding the camera, and it's you, me, and Andrew playing against your mom, and she's just smoking us all, and I'm just sitting there like, stop, please. It's so funny. Anyways, there's an actual speedrun.com archive for the speedrun games because of course there is, right?
Yeah.
There's a speedrun archive for like every game, but the funny thing is that there's actually a couple records on it. There's a marathon mode. The record, and that's just classic and master level. There's computer battle, which is normal and slide, sprint, and then beginner's Tetris, all this, that, and the other thing. But it's the computer battle that is very interesting because I have to look at the archive for this because I got a new phone, so I'm still trying to transfer files and contacts from my old phone. But there is a picture. Oh, come on. I have to look for it because I have to show you this. It's the funniest thing ever. My girlfriend has that game on the Wii, and the world record right now for computer battle normal mode is 10 seconds, and she took a picture of her score at the end of a computer battle. She won with 9 seconds.
Bruh.
She beat the computer by like 800 milliseconds or something, and I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, now all you have to do is just take a video of it and like just she's actually tried to get it again because I looked it up because I was like, there's no way you can beat Tetris this fast. I wonder if there's a speedrun archive of this game. Turns out she has a faster time than the world record, but she can't verify it. And I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, if you could verify this, that would just be hilarious to do. And so I'm trying to find the picture because I have to show you this. It's just so funny to look at.
Speedrunning is the weirdest thing ever.
It is such a flex. It's an absolute
And anyone can
flex.
be a speedrunner. You only need...
I mean, you just need to spam buttons fast enough and have really good eye-to-hand coordination, but separated, so... I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a couple minutes. So, like, tell a funny story while I look for this. What's the latest encounter of homeless people in Austin?
In Austin, dude, I don't go to Austin. What? I haven't done a lot. Boop, boop. Yeah, it's funny stories. I have a lot of hilarious. Oh, I know what I can say. So I before we're recording, I was watching a video about FNAF and Undertale. I know, very strange, but it's a creator I'd watched before. I was like, hey, I'll give this a try. So, anyways, at some point he notes that Scott Cawthon used to work for like basically a religious movie producers who did like weird animated religious ones. Everyone knows what we're talking about. And
Yeah, he did like a bunch of Christian children's games for
Yeah.
an education company of some kind. I think it was some Christian school company.
Yeah, and at some point he shows a very familiar image, which I'm very familiar with, because if anyone knows the Gub Go Gub Glub, I've actually watched the entire movie.
I have no bloody clue what you're talking about.
Do you not know what the Gub Go Gub Glub is?
No, this sounds like something Gabe LaFrance would tell me about, Miguel.
The yeast of thoughts and minds. He is the Gub Go Gub Glub. The Shwibble Shovel Shwibble Flub Flibble Lub Blub. He is full of yeast and liberkind. He is the yeast of thoughts and mind.
What?
I'll send it to you. It's one
Buddy,
of the
are you
best
good?
things ever. Anyways,
My God.
so very strange movie, right? It's like a biblical movie. There's a rat in it. There's a magical violin. There's a woman who descends from the skies. I'll review it eventually. Trust me, I love it. But anyways,
This is going to be a great video.
Gub Go Gub Glub. Big meme. So, on the writing list for that movie is Scott Cawthon. Which is, like, so weird because that's two memes colliding. You know, like, that doesn't happen. You don't get one meme that was apparently written by the man who made FNAF. But what's more important, Scott's done interviews. Why has no one asked him about the movie? I don't care about FNAF anymore. I want to know about the Gub Go Gub Glub.
We should just have him on the podcast for 10 minutes just so you can ask him about
I would
this
just
movie.
ask him about that. He's going to be like, any questions about FNAF? And I'm going to be like, no, none. I want to know about the Gub Go Gub Glub.
Straight up, I will email him for you, and I will ask if he could be on for like 5 minutes just to ask about that.
Dude,
because
I would love to hear. That'd be great. It's one of those movies that I really just want to sit down with someone who made it, and I want to be like, bro, what was happening here? Like, did you guys know you were creating a terrible movie whenever you're making it, or did it just kind of happen? I really just want to talk to the people who make some of my favorite movies, because, like, I'm like, are you aware of what's going on?
Are some of your favorite movies just like objectively crack movies, or
yes,
are they just like
Mitchell's one of my favorite movies of all time. Mac and Me, also an all-time classic. I do like some good ones. I really like 1917. Cool Hand Luke is very good, but yeah, I have a lot of really bad favorite movies.
See, that's the thing is like I don't even watch very many movies anymore, so I don't have very, very favorite medias anymore because I just don't like. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen a movie, so I'll take any recommendations, even if they're crack. Because the last movie I watched was Emesis Blue, that TF2 SFM.
Watch Mac and Me.
Which-
Mac and Me is a very funny movie. Not for any purposes that it wants to be, but it is very funny. To give you a synopsis,
All right.
I'll probably also review it. Basically, at some point, I think it was in the 80s, McDonald's decided, we want money, you know, as you do. And they were like, what's popular right now? Oh, E.T., let's do that. And then they're like, hey, Coca-Cola, you want to come help us out? And Coca-Cola said yes. And Mac and Me was born.
This sounds really scary.
Oh, it is. No, it's genuinely, like, it's not, like, terrifying, but it is scary. And that's not, like, a joke about, oh, it's so bad you're gonna be scared. It's the character design is so awful. They made genuinely some of the most frightening children's characters I've ever seen.
Bruh. Apparently I cannot find the stupid image. So I'm gonna have to
Fake news.
I know. I'm gonna have to ask for it again later on.
Let us down.
When she gets back from her vacation. So whatever. Anyways, there goes my funny story and my verification of it, but that's what I get for being funny.
Yeah. You should really stop it. It seems like it's painful.
Oh shoot. In other news, Mick Gordon just responded to my email.
I forgot to ask him if he was Australian.
He is Australian! What are you talking about?
You're an unreliable narrator.
Go to any stinking interview he has on the web. What do you mean?
It's just that like I want to believe you, I really do, but you've lied to me about Australians too many times before.
I have not! When have I ever talked to you about Australians?
A lot. You're constantly DMing me about Australians.
Boy. You believed that one story I told, though, where he rickrolled me.
Yes.
Through his website.
Well, that's
If you email him through his website, a bunch of links come up. And one of them is Astley. You click it and it goes to the music video.
That sounds like a skill issue.
I was up at 2 a.m. That's the only reason I fell for it.
Skill issue.
Oh, that was hilarious though. That was the gosh darn funniest thing that happened to me for like the entirety of the week.
Honestly, sounds like a skill issue.
Shut up.
You should just be better. Memorize all links.
Memorize every YouTube URL you've ever seen.
Watched a video. Memorize its link. Alright?
The amount of information I would have to consume would be so much I would forget how to speak.
Good. That way
Okay.
if you don't speak, you'll never give someone a bad YouTube link. So,
Wow.
hey, I'm just spitting facts.
Alright, facts, boy. You crazy man.
No. This ain't insanity. This is...
Okay, real questions though. Gotta be honest. Should I actually probably even shouldn't ask this because I should just surprise you with it just because I want to be funny. Yes?
Yes. Actually, you know what? I changed my answer. No, do not.
You saw my face change?
Do not.
My sudden realization that I can actually do this. I'm gonna ship a guitar to your porch. Just because.
Do I have a porch? Huh.
I think I sent to a P.O. box. No, it's just funny because I finally have enough money to do something funny, and I just want to buy a piece of gear for myself, but I'm like, should I just buy it but send it to someone else so that they can send it to me?
If you're gonna send me a guitar, don't send me like a hard metal one, please. That's my only...
No guitar is made out of metal.
That's not what I meant.
Well, like a heavy metal looking
I'm
guitar?
not gonna shred on it, but if you send me one, I might learn something on it.
Oh, okay. How about this then? I will buy you.
I don't know how comfortable I am with this.
I'm gonna save up specifically for this one. I'm gonna let me send you the DM. Here, I'm gonna buy you this one. I'm gonna make you how to learn to play this one. 8-string V from Solar Guitars.
Yeah, see, that's not gonna happen. See,
It's always confused me because, like, okay, I need your opinion as an absolute normie on, like, just guitar designs. Like, you don't know a bloody thing about it, right? So, let me share my screen here. Okay, back. Go live. Okay, so I am on Solar Guitars website. And these are the types of guitars that they have. They have a big summer sale and stuff. So they have the new Made in Europe series. That's not important. So here are all the primary shapes. And I want to know what you think of them just purely off of your supreme lack of knowledge on how guitars look or what you would think they would sound like or what kind of people would play them. Because Solar Guitars is a company that's basically for metal musicians.
Just the shape? Just shape?
Yeah, I just need you to review shapes and like what kind of music you would think of when you see this. Because even though this company just makes metal guitars, basically, so all of the shapes for one way or another are metalified in some way. I want to know what you think of it. So there's...
Okay, well these are giving me maybe a more generic vibe. Like I can imagine teenagers in their garage out with like these little blob guys. Honestly, what it really looks like is there's like a little blob guy who's holding up his arms, like begging for help. I know it's supposed to look like horns, but all I can see is a little blob guy screaming.
So these are the Type A's, which are just regular scale length guitars. Scale length is basically the distance between the nut, which is up here where the headstock begins, to the bridge. It's a string tension thing, and it enables you to do other stuff with it. A B, if I remember correctly, is just the A type body, but with a baritone scale length, which means the neck is longer, so you have to tune down lower because it's specifically built for lower tunings.
Yeah, these ones look more serious. They still got kind of that blobby shape, but these ones are something that I would like see on stage and be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right, and then there's these, the E types, which are based after like Explorers and Z's and all that. So these are the pointy ones. This is where metal gets like really crazy.
These ones would be what I would say are more. If I had to guess, I would say they're more modern. They look like the old like Star ones, but simplified and not as goofy looking. It's like
they're made after. Everybody has their every guitar company has a guitar that's a ripoff of this shape, this Gibson Explorer and the Flying V, which I know you've seen the Flying V before.
Yeah.
Because you know my videos and all this stuff. So that's the Type E, and then this is the G, which is basically the Les Paul, which is
the G looks like
just looks like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say G looks like what am I thinking? Acoustic guitar, trying to pretend it's metal.
It does attempt to pretend pretty hard.
Yeah, that's what
Not gonna
these
lie.
look like. These just look like they're pretending to be metal guitars, or ones that are very uncomfortable at the genre they're being used in, and want to pretend like you could also use them to, like sit on your porch and sing country songs. That's the vibe I'm getting.
You could use this one for a country song. Just use a solar guitar for a country song.
Yeah, plug in an amp and start playing country songs.
And then these are the Type S's, which are different than the A types.
Okay, these ones look very middle.
They're a bit more of the elite type of guitars.
Really, these ones are giving much more generic vibes to me. They don't look as goofy blob man.
Interesting. Yeah, because these are the budget model A's, and this is like the budget model S, and it's.
These ones
look more generic.
Yeah, I would say they look more like just something I would see somebody having. I think it's really because I accidentally saw like the little blob man, because these ones are a bit longer, so they don't look like it. If I hadn't seen it as a little blob man, my opinions would have probably changed. But
so, like a very brief. Toadcaster. A very brief education is that all curvy guitar shapes come from this guitar. It's a Fender Stratocaster, and so then comes the term Super Strat, which is not how you spell it, but it's basically every guitar company has their own version of this. You've got Jackson Soloists and Dinkies. You've got what's more notably Steve Vai's Gem guitar, which is just a Strat but pointed, and he's got the monkey bar handle.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So,
it seems like those guitars are the ones that, like, maybe I wouldn't see people playing, but it's like if I went to somewhere that sold guitars, like I would expect to see those.
Oh yeah, this is like the most common shape you would see in a guitar store.
That's what I think when I think those type of guitars. It'd be these guys.
Yeah, because even the like most bass guitars are that. Like you've got the Type AB basses, and most bass guitars are curvy. They're actually, but they are purposely made to have their contours changed from the guitar. So, like, if you look at a bass as opposed to a guitar, it just looks different. Like, somehow. Maybe it's because the neck is way longer. Because it is. So this is what the basses look like. Still seeing the blob man?
Yeah. It's less now, but yeah, I am.
And then this is the SB. Again, not much to say on the SBs. I wish he should release more SBs. Anyways, these are the T types, which are basically
these ones look
Fender.
Like. I can't say I've ever seen these before, but these I think I would see at like a rockin' concert. All right.
Because this was the guitar Ola used for his Bluesy McBluesface song, which is just a blues song. If the title didn't give it away. And so they're all T types from any other company are based after this Telecaster, which is an inferior version of the Stratocaster because it's missing a pickup.
So T types to me look like the type of tool that like someone who's really good at says that this is like a really good one, but it's not very popular. That's the vibe I'm getting. Like someone who's skilled at it will be like, yeah, that's a really good, like maybe a starter or just an all-around good guitar, but they're overlooked because other ones look cooler.
Yes,
like
that's a very observant take, actually.
That's just the vibe I'm getting from the shape. It's the not popular among the fan base, but among those serious about it would say that it's solid.
It's funny you say that too, because when I went to NAMM and visited the Solar Guitar booth, I got to play this guitar, and so I had always disliked the look of this, so I was wondering how it was going to feel when I actually played it. And it felt exactly how you described. It's very, it doesn't, how did you say it?
It doesn't blow you away, but it's quite mechanically good.
Yes, exactly. It's very good in that regard. And which other ones did I play? I got to play, where's the 7-string version of this? Here we are. I played this one. I think somebody bought this one straight from the booth, actually. 7-string purple with the roasted maple fretboard. Amazing instrument. And then there was this one that I only saw day 1. It's a signature guitar of some artist, but I didn't see it day 2. Somebody bought it immediately. And so I didn't see any of those, sadly, because I wanted to play the G type so badly. Saw one of the basses there. I saw this bass. Somebody else was playing this one, but I never got to touch it. So I played this one, and yeah, it's very mechanically good, though I think it didn't feel awkward to play because you have this scoop on the outside where your arm can rest more naturally and not just lay on a corner and pinch the nerve.
Yeah.
But it's just the shape. It's like, for me, I would prefer a different shape.
Yeah.
Enter the Type V.
Okay, Type V, these look like, I guess the best way to describe it was hair metal. This feels like a much more like retro, like 80s vibe. It's something that like is cool for the time, and we still kind of look back on nostalgic, and it's kind of like, yeah, we get that we can get why it looks cool, but like if anybody was seriously out there with that being like, yeah, I'm the coolest kid on the block, it would be like, that's kind of goofy though.
True.
That's how I feel about these. It's retro cool, not a...
Right. It's funny you say that, because I always thought that this was what hair metal looked like, because a lot of hair metal guitarists would use Gibson Explorers and Flying Vs, because at the time, this was the most modern-looking shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for metal, you had the Rhodes Vs and the King Vs from Jackson, which were the pointy ones, and that actually gave off the presence of way heavier than just hair metal. So these to me give off a similar vibe, and I actually played this one as well in this camouflage splatter type. It's really good. So it's very funny you say that they just look hair metal and very poser-ish, would you say? Because like Coolest Kid on the Block, it's like,
yeah, I would say if somebody who is unironically using it now and trying to like portray themselves as, like cool with it, like it's kind of poser. So it's like, well, no, you should have chose something that looks like it wasn't dug out of a trash can from the 80s. Like this one, would you say? Yeah, I would say that one gives the E-types, I would say, are more of a modern equivalent of that. They just give off a more modern feel.
So, like, which one so far do you think like looks the most professional? Like, was it, like G-type or the T or the E or?
I want to say the E, but honestly, it would probably be one of the what's Tall Blob Man? Which one was that?
The longer neck one, the ABs.
Yeah, I would say that those. Again, when you say professional, I would just expect to see those in the hands of a professional.
Okay, because this is the AB 1.7, so it's a 7-string.
But here's a
6-string one in a nice tritone burst.
Right, but again, I think the one like with the curve and stuff would be something That like if I had to guess, like yeah, I would say that a professional has that, but I would also say that I think that would look a bit odd with my perception of, the types of guitars like, rock and metal people use. I would say that looks like a very unrock or metal guitar, but it also looks like the most mechanically sound.
So, like, for recording, it would be this one, whereas performing, it would be this one.
I think performing, you'd want to go for a much flashier one.
Even this, or this one for performances. But for recording, it would be this one, or even this one.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I see that line of thought. And then, of course, we have the brand new type that Ola put out a couple months ago, which is the X type.
I think
where he crosses the V and the E together and slants the V out so it sits better in a classical guitar position.
I would actually say I think those are the best looking so far. They don't quite get to the goofiness of the V. I really think that the V is just kind of goofy because it also kind of looks like you're trying to stab someone, because there's just like so much wasted space that it gets to a point that it's like, okay, but what's...
You mean all this?
Yeah, it's like, what's going on there?
Well, it would look bad if it was just a triangle.
Right, I agree, but it just looks uncomfortable. Like, I think the V shape just makes it look like it was designed to look good on stage. Like look at the man on the left. This guy. The guy on the left does not look like he's comfortable. Like, his hands do not look like they're very comfortable playing that. It looks a bit odd.
I mean, it can be. The main purpose of the V shape to begin with is to kind of do it like this, where you stick it in your leg as a grounding mechanism, and it works really well. Because my friend has a Jackson King V, and he often grounds the guitar between his legs for stability when playing, and it works out really well because unlike this shape, like kind of the E-type shape, this one is only ergonomic when you're sitting. For this one, it's very much more a standing-only guitar, because if you sit with this, it's going to just shoot up to the sky.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Which is kind of why the Rhodes V was made when Randy Rhodes was still alive, because it's based off of the Concorde, but then you spike the shape a bit more, because this is the one I have, and it kind of just sits better. As opposed to, say, I can't find the right image. It just it looks better, because it moves with your leg better, and you can sit with it. You can actually ground it in a different way, and it doesn't just shoot up to the sky. So, from that sense, I can kind of see what you're talking about there.
Yeah. But
I actually, this X type, you think is the best looking one?
I think it strikes the balance. If maybe not for like... It still looks somewhat impractical, but again, that might just come from my lack of knowledge of music. But I think when you compare it to like something on stage, like I'd be like, okay, yeah, that looks cool. And again, I think it will become dated. I think eventually it will become, like kind of a goofy V shape where it's a bit like, all right, I don't know where we went there, but I think, yeah, it strikes the balance. I don't think it's as protruding as the V shape. Like, it doesn't seem like it should have ended long ago, and it's not quite... It's more distinguishable as an actual shape than the E. So I like it more. Yeah, and I think the X looks a little bit more chaotic. I think that's kind of where the E kind of loses some of its metal feel. Is that it's because
it looks very sterilized compared to the V and the E?
Yeah, it doesn't...
Sorry, just the X?
That more chaotic energy. It doesn't seem like it would go as hard as the V or the X.
That's true. This one, though, I think this is like the flashiest one you could get because of the color.
It also... this is entirely because of me. It also is the E kind of reminds me of... where is he? 1 second.
This is probably the best looking one you can get, is the slime burst finish. Because the V also comes in this color as well, and so he made a V and E type that look like this, and I can't honestly tell which one looks better, but this is basically the flashiest the E gets to look.
I think so far. Gave me perhaps the worst color for it, because what I just sent you is that the E, the yellow E, I can only see this.
What is this from?
That's from Homestar Runner.
Oh,
Sheet from Homestar
why
Runner.
not put that visual in your head?
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
what it looks like to me.
Oh my gosh. Fix your perspective with this one, the Jensen Mark II.
Okay, that one looks cool. Okay, the color... Again, if we're just going off shape, it's different than the color. I think for
Right.
the ease, if you give it a bit of a more chaotic or gradient color scheme, it gets back a lot of it what it loses. But when it's just a solid color, it just feels very... It feels very modern, I guess, in the sense that it just seems kind of sterile and it's just kind of there.
And it's different from what we call the natural finish, where
Right.
you can see the wood. And natural finishes can come in matte and distressed, where it's smoothed out, or like what my Rhodes V is, where you can feel the grain of wood and it's not actually finished at all, which is what I prefer. Or you can gloss over the natural finish, and to that I just say, why not paint it if you're just going to gloss over the wood and not let me feel any of it? But this also gives off a completely, like, from an artistic standpoint, with the aged metal-looking pick guard, because that's what this is called, a pick guard, and the natural-looking finish of it all, what do you reckon of just the aging look of this guitar?
As I said, I think that can also go into a lot of it thinking it's more for professionals who know what they're doing, but it's not very flashy. I think that just adds to the, it's like the old reliable. You know, it's not what you're going on stage with. But if you want to pick up something solid,
that's what this shape always was for guitar players for the longest time, because the Les Paul guitar shape is one of the most recognizable and it's one of the most popular. So Solar Guitars has its take on it and modernizes it a ton, and it looks like, if I pull up the natural look on this one, this doesn't give me the same old reliable feel as the T-Type. That's very interesting. And I also, going back to the X, I actually got to play this guitar a lot at the Solar booth at NAMM. It felt incredibly balanced, which surprised me, because I thought either it was going to be too heavy one way or the other, but the point that sticks out all the way out here, it didn't actually irritate me at all. And it sits really well too. So, does this one have the playing? No, it doesn't. Where is it? I don't remember. Solar X-Type. The introduction of the X-Type came with the Made in Europe series. X-Type. That's kind of what it is. This one, yeah. This man with the... Oh, why is the ad popping up? It's not even... I have ad block, for goodness sakes. Now you guys can see my recommendation list. So it looks like this when you stand and play it. And it's like, I don't know, I didn't think the point stuck out too much at all. But overall, as a guitar player, the V was perfectly balanced.
Okay, I can see that. Again, that's just one of the things I think, just from a very outside perspective. It's just look.
No, it's good perspective to have. I like it. And then there's this one he released last week alongside the release of his new song. The body is satin black, which means that it's smoothed out, but he put his logo inside of it, and the logo is gloss black.
See, this is what I was saying about the colors and how it can affect stuff, because I think on any other guitar, this would give it a very modern feel. But because the shape still maintains a bit of chaos, it still looks like, it would rock pretty hard. That's what I'm saying about the X shape, is it feels like no matter what colors you put on it, it maintains that amount of chaos.
So if we compare the X to the A-B types that you said you really liked, we have this one, which is an open pore guitar. So it's made of a certain type of wood where you can stain it and you can feel the grain alongside of it. And there's this shape, and then there's the chaotic X shape where you got natural here. You actually got an open pore in red right here. So that's cool. So that's cool. It's cool to hear a non-guitar player's perspective of all this, Because, I've always wondered how people reckon about, all this guitar stuff that I know about. It's just, I don't know,
I don't ever get the chance to really like nerd out about it because it's like because nobody knows what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to think like, okay, but how do other people think about this? And like, because if I was to get one of these guitars, like, how would you see it fit on me as opposed to how I see it fit on me? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, which type do you reckon would fit best on me if you had to choose?
Probably. Okay, so initially my first thought was the X, but I don't think so. It feels more rock star than you feel, if that makes sense. It feels like a performance guitar, even if it's not. You know, it feels like something that you're doing, you know, to put on a show. You know, not bad, but it seems a lot more like, you know, it's flashy. So I would go with the other one. Sorry, the names are predicting, but like Blob Man. I think that would fit you. I think it's more controlled. It's still like, I think the horns, even though I see a Blob Man, I think they're distinctly metal, which goes with you. Like, it's distinct, but it's also not like all over the place, and it doesn't look like you're trying to put on a show.
Well, you also have the added visual of the Dean that I have right here, which is a highly modified super strat because there's a contour all along the front of the body, and the horns are completely modified. They're very different from any other type of super strat, but it's the paint job that gives off the aesthetic and not the shape itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the guitar's body that's screaming out, it's what it's wearing, basically. Yeah. And this is what catches people's eye a lot, is the fact that it's an Air Force guitar. Like, they don't comment about the shape at all, because it's even if it isn't a common shape. Like, if I bet if this finish came on, like, the Solar E-Type or something, I think people would comment more about the colors. Because, like you said, the E-Type is still subtle enough to where,
Yeah.
Right. It's funny, too, because the X reminds me a lot of what an actual rock star guitar would be, which is... Let me go over here. An actual rock star guitar is this one. This is the ESP Random Star. It looks like this.
Yeah.
And so compare that with the Type X of the Solars, and it's like very significant differences. And so for me, with that comparison in mind, it's the this all of a sudden becomes far more metal looking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at least where my context comes from. But yeah, I get what you're saying with the A types and the AB types. That's very cool. That's very cool.
Mike Waskowski. Is that Monster Inc. behind you, Eyeball Man?
Oh, no, that's a... Hold on. Who's that? It's not Mike Wazowski.
Oh, okay. What else?
It's a sand bucket.
Oh.
It's like a little pail that you bring to the beach.
Oh, okay. Are you sure it's not Mike? Because it looks like him.
Unless Mike has the measles, this ain't him.
Mike has the measles. Why do you think he hasn't released a movie recently? He's been very sick.
My condolences.
Not dead.
I mean, yes, I know, but like, dang.
I'm so
hope
sorry
he
for your
rip.
loss. And he's like on the bed, like, I'm still alive. I just have the flu.
It's like, I will attend your funeral.
Instead of like trying not to worry sick people, make them worry more. It's a lot more fun.
Exactly. That's the best way to do it.
I would be a horrible doctor because I'd just be trolling them the entire time. Like, diagnosis
Dude.
not good. Looks
You're
like
just
you have
medic
a
from
cold.
TF2, like, my professional opinion? You're dead!
Yeah, they're just like, I stubbed my toe. What do you mean?
Stubbed your toe. Looks like we did triple bypass open heart surgery. Because reasons. Now pay me $30,000.
Right now, do it.
Exactly. Right now.
I'm not a doctor. I'm a robber. Give me your money. Imagine getting mugged in a doctor's office
Oh
by
my
the
gosh.
doctor.
Isn't that what surgery really is at the end of the day?
No, because you're paying them to cut you open. Usually a mugging is paying them not to cut you open.
That's true, but who's keeping track?
I mean, I guess no one, but...
Anywho. Oh, have you ever had one of these?
A Coca-Cola?
Yes, but the Mexican ones in the actual bottles.
Oh, no. I have not, because I don't like Coca-Cola. I have a Coca-Cola bottle.
Okay, this tastes completely different. So if you ever have the opportunity, just drink it out of the glass bottle. It's way better than the can.
Fair enough.
It's amazing. When I go to work, sometimes one of my coworkers makes a run to the liquor store, asks me if I want anything, and I'm like, that Mexican Coke you bought me, that was pretty good. So he brings me a bottle every time, and I'm just like,
epic.
Everybody else gets beer, but I get Coke. I'm happy. That's pretty cool.
Must be nice liking famous drinks. Indeed. Everyone gets annoyed at me down here because they're like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, and I'm like, I don't really like either. They're like, oh, you're a Dr. Pepper fan, and I'm like, no, I don't like Dr. Pepper either. Like,
this man will only drink a Sprite if it's a wedding, and that's it.
Sprite and Fanta and root beer. Everything root else, good. Kill it with fire. People boiling Dr. Pepper. What was that about? I keep seeing that in old movies. They
boil Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, it's
what? I didn't even know you could do that.
I mean, you can boil any liquid if you try hard enough.
If you reach the temperature eventually, it might boil.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad got an NES for his for Father's Day, and so far we only have one game on it, but it's been the original Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny because I know how to do some of the speedrunning tricks, and so I just run the levels, and all my siblings are like, "Well, how do you do that?" And I'm like, "Okay, guys, so the B button is dash. Just hold on it," and they just still like slow walk and just still keep dying to Goombas by over jumping. And it's the funniest thing.
I love, like, modern speedrunning trips, which is, like, you have to go interact with this NPC, turn around 500 times, walk forward, deload, reload until the glitch wears, and then, like, old games, it's like, what you're gonna want to do is just kind of run at that wall really fast, and the entire game will break. Like,
exactly. It's like, if you get your sub-pixel alignment right, and you get it on the right frame, you'll just clip into a pipe and wind up going through a wall on the other side of the world.
Which I love the fact that to figure that out, people basically just bash their head into a wall for a bunch of
I just want to know how you get to the point where you figure out how to... It's just weird to me how you reckon how you get to the point where you find that kind of stuff out. Well, because it doesn't make sense how do you even stumble across such knowledge?
Right, but I think that's the thing, is with most speedrunning trips, it's you're not looking for it. So if you think about the chance of, like, just people playing a game, and how many random, button movements, finger slips, they hit something, another glitch causes another glitch, they're just messing around. The probability seems really low, but when you have, like, thousands of players just playing your game, each doing something random, you can kind of understand how eventually somebody accidentally does something like that. And usually they don't even, like, exploit it. Usually it's just like, oh, hey, that's strange. I saw this pipe through this wall and I hit a wall like this. And so they post online and someone's like, oh, I want to see if I can recreate that. And it just kind of spirals from there. Because it seems very small, but if you just think about the amount of people just doing random stuff who don't even have to find the glitch, they just have to find something adjacent to it. And somebody else, they can narrow it down and do it from there.
Right.
Especially,
and then you figure...
Yeah, sorry. Especially in games where, like, just weird stuff will happen sometimes, or there's glitches that work a lot, which will kind of, like, fling you places you don't usually go.
Yeah. No, it's weird, too, because then you can figure out that if this works in one area, it can work in basically any area where the code of the game has the same properties assigned to certain things.
Yeah.
Like in Doom, I think one of the tricks in the original Doom is that you have to be you have to basically allow yourself to be cornered by a bunch of demons, and then fire a rocket in the demon's face as he's pushing you against a wall, so that you take damage from the blast of the rocket that somehow is enough momentum on the right frame to push you out of bounds.
Yeah.
Sorry. And you can just walk around the entire level all the way to the exit door because you accidentally entered no-clip mode. And so you can just no-clip the entire level and then come through the wall on the exit door, and you're done.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Security Breach really only has a few major glitches. It's just that they can be used literally anywhere to do anything.
Yeah. It's so funny how stuff can be like that, too, because if it's just right, it's game-breaking.
Yeah.
But if it's minor enough, it probably couldn't mean anything,
Yeah.
It's kind of like a recent exploit that was found in Pre-Fortress 2, was that if you can get under a character and of your same team and fire the nail gun directly underneath them, you can send them all the way up to the edge of the skybox.
Oh, goodness.
I think Heaven and Hello figured out that if he got an engineer to stand on top of his own dispenser and jump off of it, and as Scout, he bent underneath and just fired the nail gun straight up, and the engineer went flying all the way up and fell right back down and, died from the amount of fall damage it was, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's because it's stuff like that it's like, yeah, nobody would ever, think that there's a probability you would go and crouch underneath someone and get a pixel frame, perfect shooting them with a nail gun, but people just messing around just eventually go, oh, that was weird. You got a little bit of momentum. Let's try to actually do this. And then, boom, you found a glitch. Right.
I mean, shoot, grenade jumping wasn't even supposed to be a thing, but now it's like everybody does it.
Yeah.
And there's multiple ways to do it. You can do it by holding the grenade and just not actually letting it go and just let it blow up in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just people messing around who just... It's like the really weird statement of, you put enough monkeys in a room, they'll eventually bang out, Shakespeare, yeah, the chance of something might be very low, but it's still a chance for it to happen. It doesn't mean it's impossible. Right. You just need to give it enough time. Eventually, it'll hit there.
Yeah. And with that being said, that is another episode in the books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry we haven't uploaded much. We're going to try to do this more.
I'm sorry. I've been working on videos. I got 2 videos out in less than 2 weeks, and then immediately broke that streak, but hey, still did it.
Based. Keep it up, man.
Thank you.
You're doing better than I am, but I hit 900 subscribers on my channel, so I just need a couple more.
But... Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't have a retort.
Get the YouTube partner program. Come on, promote your stuff.
I want money. I love money.
Get that fake Instagram account to actually promote your stuff.
Oh, funny story about that fake Instagram account. I'm not gonna publicly say, but I did get Instagram, right? And so the fake Instagram account, which is ran by my friend, he was invited into a group Instagram DM with a bunch of my other friends where they send memes to each other. I got my Instagram account. Everyone knew it was me, and I didn't get added. But they kept him in there. I don't understand. It took them 3 months to add me to the group chat. They added the fake account instantly. I don't understand.
It was funnier that way. They kept the joke running the whole time.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The Adventure Karma fan page is not me. Whatever it posts has nothing to do with me. So, yeah. I have absolutely...
I mean, it never posts anything anyway. It just posted the YouTube link to your newest video on its story whenever you posted it, and it just kind of died again. So...
Yeah, but I'm afraid it will post something. I'm afraid about what it will do, not what it has done.
We'll see. I will find it entertaining either way.
Who is this, and why are you talking to me?
We don't know. Find out next time on the next episode.
Oh, that's the group chat.
Oh, that is the... Wow. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Okay, we'll see you guys all next time, where we will still not touch grass. Goodbye.